Whether you like it or not, clap in and out. That's what we're trying to say, see? No, sir. Listen, this is completely ad-lib.
Live from Liberty Street Restaurant in the downtown Galleria, it's the Paul Hornung Sports Showcase with your host, College and Pro Football Hall of Famer, Paul Hornung. Brought to you by UPS. We run the tightest ship in the shipping business. By the Collins Auto Group, where one name means more. More selection, more value, more service. By Humana, high-quality healthcare services at affordable prices. By Coors Light, there's no slowing down the silver bullet. By your local Chi-Chi's Mexican restaurant, where every day is a celebration of food. And now, here's Paul.
Well, welcome to the Liberty Street Restaurant in the downtown Galleria. I think we got a great show for you tonight. A lot of things happened this week. Of course, we had Jerry Claiborne retired as the head coach of the University of Kentucky. He's going to be sorely missed because nobody in the history of that university put Kentucky in the position that it was in. The #1 graduation rate in all the country, and he's to be thanked. And he's going to be with us tomorrow night at the Johnny Unitas Award Dinner, Jerry Claiborne. And speaking of the Johnny Unitas Award Dinner, tonight's a little preview. We're going to show you the trophy. We're also going to show you Johnny Unitas himself. He's here, probably the best quarterback that ever played the game, folks, and of course a great quarterback here at the University of Louisville. So why don't we welcome Johnny back to Louisville, huh? All right. I tell you, I always figured that Unitas was unmatched as a quarterback in professional football. And here we also have the recipient of the 3rd annual Johnny Unitas Award. He's here with us tonight, and we had a hard time getting him away from school an extra day, but he's here. The quarterback of the longest winning streak in the history of Notre Dame, and the winner, the 3rd annual winner of this award, Tony Rice, the top quarterback, senior quarterback in America, is here. And we're going to talk a little college football. We're going to talk a little pro football. We're going to take just a peek and see what this audience likes, who they like. Is it U of L, Notre Dame, and the Big Four at Indianapolis? And how about Kentucky and Indiana? We'll talk a little about that. But right after these messages, we'll be back with Johnny Unitas and Tony Rice.
Some insurance didn't even pay for your mom's allergy shots.
Or your cold last month. And because I didn't reach the deductible, it didn't pay for my stitches.
Humana has a range of plans to meet your needs. From affordable deductibles to no deductible at all.
Sue, what did my company insurance cover last year?
Nothing.
If you want coverage you can use, you want Humana.
Bill Collins, how do you do?
Bill Collins Ford celebrates their 20th anniversary with special deals available only at Bill Collins Ford. Now get 9.9 financing, plus rebates up to $1,250. Most dealers offer one or the other, but now during Bill Collins' 20th anniversary, you get both. 9.9 plus rebates up to $1,250 on every 89 and 90 in stock. Choose from over 400 new cars and trucks at Bill Collins Ford. See Friday or Sunday's Courier Journal for details.
American business can save millions of dollars every year with the UPS Next Day Air letter. Unlike other companies which frequently charge up to $14, UPS, because we're so efficient, charges only $8.50. And we guarantee overnight delivery to every address, coast to coast. The UPS Next Day Air letter, the super saver of overnight letters.
We could have been satisfied being the home of the chimichanga. After all, a chimichanga is the Chi-Chi's celebration, all wrapped up in a tortilla. But hearing you say wow wasn't enough. So we created the Cowabunga Chimichanga Special. It's our famous chimichanga plus cheese, nachos, and sopapillas, all for $6.95. Wow, you say? No, Cowabunga.
Chi-Chi, Chi-Chi, a celebration of food.
If you feel life's more interesting when you make a splash.
It's the right beer now.
If you feel a great beer starts with great water.
It's the right beer now.
Because you're the kind of person who likes to get to the bottom of things. Call for the Silver Bullet, the one that won't slow you down.
Coors Light. It's the right beer now.
Thank you very much, and welcome back to the Liberty Street Restaurant. Of course, just like I said, Johnny Unitas is here tonight along with Tony Rice, the young and the old, so to speak. And
which one?
Which one's the old one? I tell you, you look pretty good.
You.
I am old, I tell you. First of all, John, welcome back, and I know you got to be quite proud of what this city's doing for the city, #1 in the Johnny Unitas Award. I really believe in the years to come, it's going to be one of the #1 awards in America, and I hope it is.
Well, Paul, with people like yourself and Coach Kitcher and Bob Bender behind it, I can't miss.
Well, I hope so. Tomorrow night, I think you're going to be very proud of the dinner that we're going to be going to, and of course, giving Tony Rice that award. And it's going to be about 800 or 900 people. We do want to say there are some tickets left. It's a big hall down at the Gold House. Call over there, and not a lot of tickets left, I should say, because we've got a big crowd on hand. But anyway, John, what have you been doing with yourself? People around Louisville have never forgotten you. They love Johnny Unitas in this town.
It's always a pleasure to come back to Louisville. It's like, you know, coming back to the old hometown, and I enjoy seeing everybody. I'm basically in business, Paul. I've been in the printed circuit board business for the past 4 or 5 years in Baltimore. It's a high technology electronic circuit boards which we build for computer industries, military application, and commercial use. And basically, I'm out doing all the selling.
Tony, welcome to Louisville. I think the people in Louisville are glad to see you. And I tell you, folks, I picked him up at the airport today, and I don't think I've ever met a young man. He's talked to everybody, he signed autographs, and he loves it. And he seems like you like people. I just want to welcome you to Louisville, Tony. And I'm glad you're here. And I know you're happy to be here as the recipient of this award, aren't you?
Oh, yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Just communicate with people and just like come to good contact with people here and just come together as a whole total family.
You know, John, I showed him the award, and I'm going to show it to the people right now. He couldn't believe he was going to get this. I mean, this is, have you seen this? Now, this is new.
I know, it's brand new. I saw this at Coach Kitcher's house this afternoon. And first thing I said, what's the wristband doing on there? Matty used to use those things, not me.
If people don't remember, Tom Matty took over a couple of games down in Florida, and especially in the runner-up bowl, and won a game for the Colts where he had all the plays on his wrist, didn't he?
That's right.
Well, that's not a Tom Matty wristband.
I know it's not.
But anyway, Tony, what do you think about this?
Oh, this is nice. It's like I can't lift it up. Like I don't hardly get in the weight room that much, so hope we carry back to Notre Dame with a big smile on my face.
We don't want him to get hurt before the Colorado game.
No, sir.
We'll
sure
send
don't.
someone
Lou
with
Holtz,
that.
Lou Holtz called today and made sure that we get him in under curfew the whole bit. But anyway, there's going to be another little ceremony. You're going to get a beautiful Johnny Unitas ring, which is going to be very unique. And I think the people that, in fact, they gave these trophies, they went back. Notre Dame's going to get 8 trophies, so you don't have to donate this back to the university.
It's very nice.
Get a duplicate. And Gitster went all over. Gave one.
I'm finally going to get into Notre Dame.
You're finally going to get a trophy like this. But anyway, Don McPherson and Rodney Peete will receive the exact trophy because this is the first year that this sculpture was available. So everybody who's won the award is going to get it. Let's talk a little college football. I think everybody wants to know what happened at Miami. I should say this too, folks. It's Tony Rice. Notre Dame's had a lot of tradition in their life. Nobody in the history of the school has quarterbacked Notre Dame to 23 straight wins except this young man right here. It's the all-time record. Thank you. And his record against top-flight competition, in fact, during his career, they played 12 teams in the top 10, and Tony's record was 28-3 as a starting quarterback at Notre Dame, and it's unmatched. So, Tony, I want to congratulate you there. You had one hell of a career.
Thank you. Just basically up to the guys and everything. We just all working together as a total team instead of one individual person. And you know, it's a team credit, and I think the team should, you know, deserve this award also for this accomplishment.
A lot of people were very surprised, though, at Miami. Now I know you got a chance. Notre Dame hasn't had too much luck in the Orange Bowl. That was 5 in a row now that they've lost down in Miami. It's almost like a jinx when you play the Hurricanes down there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the Hurricane is, you know, it's over now, but then, like, we're going down there to play the Orange Bowl against Colorado. It's been a totally different story because I think that we learned that, you know, no matter how you play the game, and because we got to play that intensity, that nobody's going to defeat us anymore, and this the kind of attitude will take us far in this world.
Mm-hmm. John, I know you keep up with the college and the program. Have you been doing any radio and television around with any of the networks or around Baltimore?
No, I haven't, Paul. To tell you the truth, most of the time I see football is on a Saturday. We sit down for a while with the kids, and we watch the college games. I actually prefer watching colleges as to professionals.
I do too.
Really. It's a lot more fun for me to do that because I expect kids to make mistakes. I don't expect the professionals to make mistakes, especially with some of their attitudes that I could care less about where they catch the football or this and that. This just irritates me.
Well, we got 3 people here that I think we ought to really talk about that. Now, Tony, you witnessed probably the most taunting, the most arrogant football team a couple of years in a row, and I'm talking about Miami. And I really believe, I've said this, we talked about a little today, that Miami, having won so much in the 80s and doing all that taunting and rowdiness or whatever you want to call it, that the people watch this and they win, and the youngsters go for this kind of a thing.
That's right.
Whoever's winning, I mean, it's as if that's a license to do that. And I think that's very, very wrong. What do you think about, now they had to be taunting you, the quarterback of Notre Dame, during that football game, aren't they?
Yeah, the way I said, there was taunting and everything, but then the big thing about young kids out there that are watching the game, you know, those guys are being like role models, and young people are going to look at them that they doing it, so why can't I can't do it and everything, and they want to try the same thing, but then it doesn't work in everyday life. You just got to live by example and try to be the best role model you can while you're living.
Did you turn your back to it when they were hollering at you?
Kind of, but then you get that kind of feeling that, hey, you must say something back, but then I just hold my breath like, hey, they ain't right, and just let it be.
How does Holtz treat that? I mean, if you all went to that kind of an act.
You know, he said that the last time we had a little incident in the tunnel that if we do it again, that he would quit coaching, and we just kind of let back from there. And it's like, okay, wherever you say coach goes, and it happened that they intimidated us, and we couldn't even do anything else about it. And I feel that being one of the captains, I wanted to say something, but then Coach Holtz is the head coach. You got to live by his rules.
John, I don't remember all that going on when we were playing in the professional ranks. And it started in the pros, let's face it.
Yeah, no, we never had a problem. We, you get on a field and you might get someone like Lucci or someone hollering or cursing out there at you, something like that, but you don't pay attention to that, but not on a personal type basis. Have I ever been bothered by anybody out on the field professionally? And some of the guys, like Nitschke, for instance, you would think he would be one of the bad guys, but Ray was such a guy and a tremendous football player. He wouldn't even shake hands with you on the field.
Yeah.
But off the field, he was great.
But well, you had the same kind of guy. Pellington would step on your hand.
In a minute.
In a minute,
yeah.
If it was just laying around there, if you didn't pick it up. But he would be the nicest guy in the world off the field.
That's correct. But we never had a problem that way.
I really don't know where it started. I really do not know where all this taunting, running, jerking around, showing off. I mean, it's unbelievable what they do in the, I mean, it would be, I'll tell you one thing. It would be very hard for me, Tony, not to take a shot at Bernard Clark after his actions, in the end zone. I mean, that's uncalled for. I don't think there's any place for it. And it's the coach's fault, I would think.
Well, they allow that to happen. The coach allows that to happen. Tony remarked earlier that Lou was in complete control of the football team up there, and then he had 2 guys who were late, a minute or late for the bus or something like that, and was it USC? Is that what the game we played?
Yes, USC.
And he sent them home. He just sent them home. You guys weren't here on time. It's like Lombardi did.
That's right.
You do things with his watch.
You had to be 15 minutes before
that's right.
time to be on.
And I think that's a coach's fault that allows that to happen.
Johnny Unitas, in my estimation, was the best quarterback that ever played, period. I don't care. And that brings up a point. They've got so many ways that they rate quarterbacks, which I think are ridiculous today. I don't understand. Do you understand how they rate a professional quarterback?
Not really.
With all the passes per attempt, yardage,
Well, rules records are going to fall whenever they throw the ball 60 to 65 times the ball game. We threw the football 20 to 25 times a ball game and you know, completed a good number of passes. But if you find in the National Football League now where their guys are throwing a 60 to 65% completion percentages, and if you can't do that with the rule changes, then you shouldn't be on the field.
That's right. They really, the rule changes, the hash marks, the amount of time.
Pass protection rules, you're not allowed to touch an offensive receiver now after 5 yards downfield. Well, even I could get open out there with that kind of a situation.
A couple of wonderful things happened the last couple months. Last week, I don't know did Lenny Lyles get here? I was hoping Lenny would drop by. Lenny was, of course, a great teammate of All-Pro with John at Baltimore and a great Louisville native. He does a lot of great work for the University of Louisville. But I'll tell you, I was hoping he would be here because I wanted him to get into this too. They had an old-timers game, and Unitas was the quarterback. They had them all come back to Baltimore, I guess, Stadium. Yep. They had over 15,000 people there, and Namath was the quarterback for the Jets. It was a renewal of the rivalry between the third Super Bowl when really Joe Namath said, we will win, and it really made the AFL, I think. But we're going to talk about that when we come back. And we're also going to talk to Tony Rice about the upcoming match in the Orange Bowl. So stay right with us.
When only the best is good enough, you'll always find the best at Roof Lighting. Diverse designs, superior styling, unsurpassed quality, and a professional staff to assist you. That's Roof. And opening soon, Roof's new lighting design center in Eastgate, just east of Middletown. An additional location to serve your total lighting needs. Roof Lighting, the complete lighting, design, and planning centers. Here for you because you deserve the very best.
Here's to the people who work so hard to keep our city going. And here's to all the things you do to keep our city growing. Here's to the people we're looking to make this city's dreams come true. To the people, hard-working people, Bank of Louisville's here for you.
When you think about it, your telephone is really a payphone, and you can pay a lot if you have AT&T. But MCI's new Primetime lets you save no matter how far you call or how long you talk. This 26-minute call from Chicago to Miami at 8 p.m. costs 32% less on Primetime. So the choice that's right.
Hello?
$1.40, please.
Is the choice on the right. MCI's new Primetime. Real savings 24 hours a day. Call now, get 1 month free.
Beautiful furniture from who? Smith's Furniture, that's who. It brings out the best in everyone.
Paul Hornung here for J.C. Bradford. You know, I've been investing with J.C. Bradford for over 20 years. Why? Well, first of all, I trust them. They know what they're doing here, and the bottom line is I've made money with J.C. Bradford. You don't have to have a large portfolio to get good service from Bradford's brokers. Here at Bradford, they treat everyone like a big investor. They really do care. So if you want to watch your money grow, call J.C. Bradford and let them go to work for you. I did.
We're back live. We're back live here at the Liberty Street Restaurant in the downtown Galleria. And I just want to tell everybody at home, a lot of people ask me, how can we get tickets to the showcase and come? You don't need any tickets. You don't need any reservation. It's nice to have a reservation if you want to have dinner, but just come on down, 8 o'clock, live every Thursday night, right here. Next week, we're going to have Paul McGuire of NBC analyst. We're also going to have a couple of high school coaches here from basketball. Week after that, we're going to have Jock Sutherland and Ralph Hacker. Week after that, we're going to have Denny Crum. And the week after that, we're going to have, no, the week before Denny Crum, we're going to have Gail Sayre. So we've got some nice shows lined up. So come on back. And if you can't get down here in person, tune to Channel 11 Store Cable. Okay, we're back with John and Tony. Let me ask Tony this. Do you think there's still a shot for Notre Dame to have a chance at the national championship? What has to happen for you all to still have a shot?
I'll say if Auburn beats Alabama, and
you think that can happen this week?
Oh yes, I have those Alabama guys can go. So but then those Auburn guys can also go themselves because Coach Dye is a pretty nice coach, and he's going to take it all the way. And when we win against Colorado, it'll be a good shot for us to win the national championship.
And then you got to hope for Miami to beat Alabama.
Oh yes, oh yes.
The one thing I don't understand is how could Michigan be rated above Notre Dame? I don't understand how Michigan can really be rated above Miami.
The pros and bows take care of itself, and like Coach Host always emphasized that, hey, we just want to go out there and win every game, but then like if something happened bad, pick yourself back up and start over again. And we're going to try to continue this winning streak. Like we're not 23-1, 23-0 anymore. We're just starting back over again with 1-0. We're trying to win against Colorado.
Tell us a little something about the Rocket. Ragib Ismail. I mean, he's only a John. This guy.
He can fly.
This is the fastest human being I've ever seen. Period. Is this guy something else or what?
Yeah, I'll say the first time we came into camp and Rocket was a freshman, he said, "Well, Tony, I want you to overthrow him. Try to overthrow him." And I tried, but then like the ball just got in his hands somehow. It just got in his hands, and I couldn't believe that he caught the ball, and I threw it as far as I could, and then just caught it like with these.
Well, John, this is asked to me, and I guess I should ask it to you. Was there any time after you retired, and of course you were doing radio, you were doing television, because I know I had the opportunity to work with John in a couple games, but was there any time that you wanted to go into coaching at all? Did you have any inclination to do so or what?
Paul, if I was going to coach, it would have had to be in Baltimore. I've been in business in Baltimore over the years that I've been there for 33 years, and I've always had something going. And to be able to get into coaching outside of Baltimore, that would mean I would have to give everything up and move the family and everything else. And I'm not one to move around the country. I pretty much grow roots wherever I am and just kind of stay there. And when Irsay and Rosenblum swapped teams with the Rams and the Colts, and Irsay came into town and he just alienated everybody in town, and then finally moved the franchise out of town. It just took all the wind out of everybody's sails. And I was not going to be working for a guy like that in the first place, so I just kind of resigned myself that whatever I was going to do was going to be in Baltimore.
The great coach, Frank Camp, who departed us, what a wonderful man he was. He was a great friend of mine and very nice to me. Never had the opportunity, but the people that I've known that had the opportunity to play for Coach Camp always said that he was a little bit ahead of his time as far as offensive football was concerned. I mean, my heavens, you led the country throwing touchdown passes for a couple of years here with a real progressive offense.
Well, his offense was varied, and when I got it professionally, we started to use some of the things that I had already participated in here in school, the double wing type stuff, the flood formations, man in motion, all those type of things. And I had already had that here in college, so it wasn't anything new to me, but he was ahead and would have made a fine professional coach, I believe, because of his overall strategies and his ability to talk and to get along with people.
Tony, what's going to happen to you after the Orange Bowl? You got some All-Star games coming up. Have you talked to any agents? I'm sure that there are probably 4 or 5 of them licking their chops trying to get a hold of you. What's your plan? Here's a pretty good agent, I'll tell you that.
Help me out, please. I need help. Not really. I just want to, go to bowl games. And
which bowl games you going to play?
Well, the Hula Bowl in Hawaii and plus the East-West Ryan Bowl in California. Just go there and have a good time, and mainly just finish and get my degree at Notre Dame, because that's one thing I'm shooting for, and I can't wait to get that.
And you will graduate this fall, right?
Graduate in May.
Well, that's great. And what about the combine situation? Will they ask you to go see? They have a combine situation now in the professional ranks where they ask a lot of the seniors to go They time them. They're 40 yards. They see how strong they are, see how much weight that they can bench press. But you and I don't even know what would we have done with all this. Who are these two ugly bodies over here?
Bench press. I don't know.
Bench press, right?
No.
You
I've never lifted a weight in my life.
31-inch waist. They measured him today for a tux for your dinner tomorrow night. He took off his shirt in this tux place out on Bardstown Road, and everybody almost flipped. You know, he's got all muscle. You know, he's got about a 30-inch waist.
I know that upset
something
you.
I've dreamed about for about 20 years. But anyway, it has been a lot different for so many people. Are you going to think about the combine?
Yes, I really am. At first, my grandma, that's who I live with, and she's, well, Tony, you want to play professional football or what? And like being little, I said, well, I don't know. And she said, since you're my baby, I want you to just stop football after college and just come home with me. And I didn't want to do that.
And home is in South Carolina.
South Carolina,
Woodruff
yes.
or Spartanburg?
Woodruff. South side, you know, Woodruff is so small that nobody had heard of it. Just Spartanburg and Greenville Airport. It's pretty close to there. But then, like, I want to give it a shot. And if everything turned out right for me, I hope I have a good chance to making the pros.
Now, a lot of people have probably told you, said, well, Tony, you never had that much experience throwing the ball in the pros. Would you like to go in as a quarterback, or would you try as a flanker? I think you're a good enough athlete to play a couple positions.
Yeah,
possibly a flanker or maybe a defensive back.
Looking at it, first of all, just please give me a shot at quarterback. If that don't turn out right, any position would do, because, like, I know I can do it, whatever I want to do. It's all in my mind. And, you know, I'm not a bragger, but then if you really want something really bad, you'll do anything to get it. And I just want to play pros and just make enough money, just take care of my family and just be happy.
Well, you're going to be an instant millionaire when you get in there. You'll make enough
Hopefully,
money, huh?
Hopefully you will.
Well, we mean hopefully.
Well,
it's going to be a high draft round.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, that's multi-millionaire now.
Exactly. You must sign that first contract and make it your best one. You know,
sure.
Right?
That's right. Yeah.
And
because you got everything in front of him. He's a guy that's just climbing a mountain, and you and I are sliding down the other end of it. You know what I mean?
We're at the bottom of it.
Yeah, you got it right now.
Would you believe that that these draft choices, some of the quarterbacks are playing second team in the National Football League, will make more money in 3 years, second team, than Johnny Unitas did playing, what, 19 years, 20 years?
18 years.
I mean, they say everything's relative. You know, they always give you that. Everything's relative.
I'd like to have
relative.
a couple of those relatives in my pocket.
That's right. Okay, we'll be right back with a very quick look at the trophy once again and what's going to happen tomorrow night. So stay with us right here from Liberty Street Restaurant.
I never imagined that a prescription would cost $80.
My insurance keeps going up, and it doesn't even cover prescriptions.
The Humana Gold Plan can cover prescriptions, vision care, and all Medicare-eligible doctors and hospital costs.
There's so much Medicare still doesn't cover.
Chances are the Humana Gold Plan covers it.
It's all so complicated.
No, it's all so easy. Call 1-800-647-0070 now.
Bill Collins, how do you do?
Bill Collins Ford celebrates their 20th anniversary with special deals available only at Bill Collins Ford. Now get 9.9 financing plus rebates up to $1,250. Most dealers offer one or the other, but now during Bill Collins' 20th anniversary, you get both. 9.9 plus rebates up to $1,250 on every 89 and 90 in stock. Choose from over 400 new cars and trucks at Bill Collins Ford. See Friday or Sunday's Courier Journal for details.
This is the shop of Samsat Bazaar, a thriving establishment on the outskirts of Bangkok. Unlike other international executives, he has no phone system, no computers, not even a fax machine. He does, however, enjoy one modern and efficient service nearly 4 billion people in 175 countries today can take for granted. UPS. We run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
For help with the design and purchase of a new air compressor, you need Air Systems. For service or repair of your present system, you need Air Systems. For parts and lubricants for your air compressors, you need Air Systems. If your compressed air system fails at any time of the day or night, you need Air Systems. I'm Jim Turner, owner and president of Air Systems. If you need a new air compressor, parts, repair service, or emergency rental, call me at Air Systems in Louisville.
There's no time to lose.
You're looking at a little silver keychain which was donated by Sang Jewelers. Sang Jewelers has been downtown forever, and I'll tell you one thing, they're great jewelers. And they wanted John to have one of these little keychains, take it with him. And Tony, we can't give you a keychain. It'd probably make you ineligible for the Orange Bowl. But anyway, you're going to get this tomorrow night, and I think you're going to be quite proud of it. Also, we got a little surprise. We got a nice little ring for you. That's the most unique college ring I think you'll see. The Johnny Unitas Award ring, and we're going to give that to him tomorrow. And I want everybody here in this restaurant to get together with me and thank Tony Rice and John Unitas for being my guests tonight. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Every one of us sitting up here tonight has been injured at one time or another in the game of football, whether it be on the high school level, college, or pro. And the young man you're about to take a look at, if you watched Super Bowl last year, the 49ers and the Bengals, you saw a tremendous injury take place to Tim Crumry, the fine nose tackle of the Cincinnati Bengals. Well, he's come back. He's not all the way back, but he's made one great recovery. Take a look.
My wife always calls me a puppy or a pussycat because she's never on the football field with me.
Last year, that pussycat was crowned King of the Jungle by the Cincinnati fans, following his selection to the Pro Bowl. But reaching that goal had been a long and hard struggle for this gritty defenseman.
Hey, they didn't even want him. They drafted him in the 10th round. We had 2 mini camps, one for the rookies, they brought him in. Then they brought every draft choice back to the veterans mini camp except for him. That is, he was not esteemed on the first look to be someone who even had a chance to make the team.
But there's one thing that kind of jinxed me. I think it was a computer. I'm a little short, and I'm slow, and I was too light. And I think the biggest problem is you have to have a lot of heart inside. And I play with a lot of heart. And the computer just couldn't tell how much heart I had inside me.
With both heart and determination, Tim Crumry and his team were having a Cinderella season where everything was going their way.
You ready, Timmy? Kick their ass, man, right now.
In the game, baby.
We're going to be in it. I don't want this defensive line to stop.
Come on, baby! Come on! Ready, baby, go!
You have to play emotional to play football. You have to get excited, you know, make your presence known that way, too. And it's coming out of the tunnel. I was hyped. That was the biggest game of my career, and I play every snap. It's like that last snap I'm going to play, and that's just the way it is. Boy, I hate to see that. Dadgummit. He's hurt bad, too. Felt like somebody just kicked you in the shin real hard. Yes, it's pain. I can take pain. That's not the problem. But right away I realized that I broke my leg and my party was over.
It had a bad effect for our team because here's a man that was viewed as the indestructible man, and he was down.
The last thing I remember thinking about is, I hope it's not too bad. I hope this guy is not through with his football, because there is another year. No matter what happens in a particular game or in a particular season, there's always next year.
But I had a lot of outsiders just come right out and say, I don't think you ever play football again. That motivated me. Hell, that made me mad.
Tim returned to his home in Wisconsin with a new challenge. Not to be the best at his position, but simply to be able to play it again.
There was this TV story that said, well, Tim, what could happen? I said, well, the leg could break, the rod will shatter, and I'll be finished. And I looked her in the eye and I said, I'm willing to take that chance. It's not for the money, and it's not for all the hype and the glory you get. It's just the one-on-one competition. It's the love for football.
I think the rest of the team knows now what a football player, what a human being can do, what they can endure, what they can overcome, what they can go through, and in the face of it, be a graceful
competitor as he fights his way back into the game. Timmy hadn't come all the way back yet. In my opinion, he's got some distance to go, but he'll fight until he gets as far as he can. And I hope it's just back where he was, because if it is, it'll be one of the real stories in sports.
We could have been satisfied being the home of the chimichanga. After all, a chimichanga is the Chi-Chi's celebration, all wrapped up in a tortilla. But hearing you say wow wasn't enough, so we created the Cowabunga Chimichanga Special. It's our famous chimichanga plus cheese, nachos, and sopapillas, all for $6.95. Wow, you say? No, Cowabunga.
Chi-Chi, a celebration of food.
I'm Bill Collins. How do you do?
Bill Collins Ford celebrates their 20th anniversary with special deals available only at Bill Collins Ford. Now get 9.9 financing, plus rebates up to $1,250. Most dealers offer one or the other, but now during Bill Collins' 20th anniversary, you get both. 9.9 plus rebates up to $1,250 on every 89 and 90 in stock. Choose from over 400 new cars and trucks at Bill Collins Ford. See Friday or Sunday's Courier Journal for details.
Mr. Ian McKenzie. I'm Angus McKenzie. Ian's moved down the road.
Today, with service to 175 countries,
Oh, you'd be wanting Ian Alistair McKenzie.
UPS delivers to nearly 4 billion people,
Parcel for McKenzie.
including the extraordinary concentration of Mackenzies along the northeast coast of Scotland.
Mr. Ian Alistair McKenzie. No trouble finding me, did you, lad? No trouble at all.
UPS, we run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
If you don't want to slow down on your way to the top,
It's the right beer now.
because you know to make a beer as refreshing as a mountain stream, you got to start with a mountain stream.
It's the right beer now.
When a night on the town might last all night, call for the taste preferred at Better Night Spots. The silver bullet, the one that won't slow you down.
It's the right beer now.
I tell you, I like that piece about Tim Crumry. He's one of the great defensive nose tackles. He did a lot of work, and I'll tell you one thing, he's going to get it back. Tim Crumry will be back in a Pro Bowl before too long, you mark my words. Okay, welcome back. Now it's time for the UPS college lineup. These are the picks for this weekend, and of course, college football, a lot of teams have finished their season. Well, of course, one of the teams that hadn't finished their season left this week from the University of Louisville campus, a long trip over to Tokyo. We're going to take a look at that game a little bit later on. Tennessee should have little trouble over Vanderbilt. They're a solid 25-point favorites, and Tennessee, of course, going one of the big bowls. And I'll tell you one thing, Johnny Major just has a way. After a season that a lot of people said, well, this is the last one for Johnny, he jumps back and he's got Tennessee on a roll. 9-1, they've won something like 24 straight games in November. A great team in November, and Majors has got the Volunteers on a roll. Florida State, which may be one of the best teams in the country, and they are one of the best teams in the country. Florida State is a 2-touchdown favorite over Florida, but Florida's got upset. They're playing at home, but I think Florida State's got a lot more good football players than the University of Florida, even though Emmitt Smith could have a big day and keep it close. I would take the number here. Alabama and Auburn, a big game. This is the first time this game has been played at Auburn. This game is usually played on a neutral field in Birmingham, Alabama. It's played down in Auburn, and here it is, Alabama undefeated on its way to the Sugar Bowl and possibly a national championship. They are underdog to Auburn. Now, Schnellenberger told me a few weeks ago he doesn't like Auburn at all. He'd love to play Auburn. He thinks that the University of Louisville would beat Auburn. Well, I like Alabama. I don't have to tell you who Schnellenberger picked last week in Miami over Notre Dame. But anyway, Alabama, I'm picking to beat Auburn. Texas A&M should roll over Texas. Texas is having a hard time. Texas A&M a lot better football team than Texas at this point. And in a very close football game, I'm just hoping that I'm going to be wrong because I've been wrong against U of L. I'm doing a little reverse psychology this week. This game is a picket game. Both teams are 6-4, and I hope that Schnellenberger makes it very embarrassing for the Peach Bowl, who have already delivered an invitation to Syracuse, If they would happen to beat Syracuse, boy, it would make it look wonderful, wouldn't it? A lot of people, again, would bypass up the University of Louisville. They should have got a bowl bid last year with an 8-3 record, and they sure may have, if they can beat Syracuse, a lot of people are going to be looking bad again this year. But anyway, just on the presence of talent, Syracuse, just a little bit better football team, and honestly, I have to say that in my pick, Syracuse over U of L, but you know who I'm voting for as far as who I'm hoping to come out on top in that one. We'll be right back with a look at the professional ranks, the NFL Coors picks in just a minute.
In places beyond the reach of other overnight delivery companies, you'll find UPS. Because unlike the competition, only UPS Next Day Air guarantees delivery overnight to every single address coast to coast. And because we're so efficient, we can do it for up to half what other companies charge, whether the place is hard to reach or easy to reach. UPS, we run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
It's here. It started. Lotto has come to make new Kentucky millionaires. And just one more thing. Now, summarizing my key points.
Play Lotto Kentucky. Tickets are on sale now, and the drawing is at 7:28 p.m. on, well, take a wild guess. It's a whole new reason to love Saturdays.
Bill Collins, how do you do?
Bill Collins Ford celebrates their 20th anniversary with special deals available only at Bill Collins Ford. Now get 9.9 financing, plus rebates up to $1,250. Most dealers offer one or the other, but now during Bill Collins' 20th anniversary, you get both. 9.9 plus rebates up to $1,250 on every 89 and 90 in stock. Choose from over 400 new cars and trucks at Bill Collins Ford. See Friday or Sunday's Courier Journal for details.
It's the right beer now.
But not now.
It's the right beer now.
But definitely not now.
Coors Light, it's the right beer now.
And absolutely positively not now. No way.
Come on, Jimmy, let me get your cab, huh?
Okay, welcome back. And now let's take a real quick look at the best team in the NFL right now are the San Francisco 49ers and Denver at 10-2 records, the Giants 9-3, the Rams 8-4, Buffalo 8-4, and the Eagles 8-4, and the Vikings, who earlier in the year were probably rated the second best team in the National Football League. They're not playing that way at all. But I want you to take a look at the best teams to bet on against the spread. It happens to be the same two teams. San Francisco has beaten the number 9 out of 12 times. We only got 4 weeks to go in the season. Denver is 9-3 against the spread. The New York Giants are 8-3-1 against the spread. The Rams are 8-4 against the spread. And there's about 5 teams, Buffalo, Detroit, the Bengals, Green Bay, San Diego, and Tampa Bay. They are all 7-5 against the spread if you're wagering with your friend on Sunday about a football game or so. Now, here are the worst teams to bet with. Washington, 3-7-2 is the second. I've got that a little wrong there. Seattle and the New York Jets, who have the worst record in there. They're also the worst team to try to win a few beaners on and trying to win a few dinners on. Seattle is 3-9 against the spread. The Jets are 3-9. And the Indianapolis Colts, who were so good against the number last year, are about in 4th place as the worst team to bet with. Indianapolis is 4-8 against the number. Now, as we switch up here, welcome to the Coors Light NFL Paul's Picks. And let's take a look and see. Last week, I had my worst week of the whole year. I was 11 games over 500 going into the second half of the season, and now I'm 7 games under 500 for the second half. I was 5-9 last week. So a lot of people beat me. That means a lot of people will get to draw at the end of the year for 2 Super Bowl tickets. We're going to award that on our show, 2 shows before the Super Bowl. If you come down here to the Liberty Street Restaurant and you end up beating me for the week, we give you a little slip to try to pick all the games against the number. You beat me, your name goes into a hat to draw for the Super Bowl tickets. So let's take a look this week. Green Bay is 3-point favorites over Tampa Bay at Tampa Bay. Now, Tampa Bay has won the last 4 against Green Bay. The Packers, thank heavens, are back on top in the NFC Central Division. They haven't been there for a long, long time, over 11 years. I'd love to see the Packers beat Tampa Bay, but I think you have to take Tampa Bay playing at home. And Packers are not that good a road team, and they may be coming down a little bit after 2 gigantic wins over the San Francisco 49ers and Minnesota. Indianapolis, a 2-point underdog to New England at New England. Now, I tell you, I just don't like New England. I haven't liked them all year long. I think the Colts are a little bit better than this. They still have a shot at a playoff, a wild card spot, so I think Indianapolis will win straight up. Houston, 3.5-point favorites over Pittsburgh. And what happened to the Houston Oilers? Warren Moon is not the same Warren Moon that we saw the first 7 or 8 games of the season. Pittsburgh had a big win last week at Miami. Playing at home, they're pretty tough. I like Pittsburgh. Houston's been turning the football over way too many times. Take the 3.5 and take Pittsburgh. Now, New Orleans. The Saints are 4-point favorites over Detroit. I think the New Orleans Saints defense, even though they gave up last week against San Francisco, my heavens, they had a big 14-point lead and they got beat. It was unbelievable. New Orleans has got a lot better personnel than Detroit. I don't care if they're playing at home. Take New Orleans and lay the 4. New Orleans, they have a great defense against the rush, and I think Barry Sanders will find it very difficult to get that 100 yards against a New Orleans Saint defense. Now Miami travels to Kansas City. This is 2.5 points. In Kansas City, I really believe is one of the biggest surprises of the whole National Football League season. Christian Okoye, their great fullback, he only weighs 268 pounds, 6'3", the Nigerian Nighthawk. Boy, I tell you, this guy is some kind of big, and he runs over people. I love Kansas City at home over Miami. Miami, although, is a pretty good road team. They're 4-2 on the road this year. They're also 4-2 on the road against the spread. So this is a tough game. Kansas City, a great home team dog. They haven't beaten the spread that much as a home team favorite, but I like Kansas City anyway. Lay the 2.5 points. And the Rams, Dallas is backed up against the wall. The Rams are coming off a couple of very, very big games. Dallas, of course, has only won 1 football game. They're the worst team in the National Football League, but they could surprise you. They could surprise you. I think the Rams will win, but I think it'll be a close football game. I think the Rams, you can't help but go down to Dallas and feel that you got the game won. It's a very tough game for anybody to really get up for emotionally, and I think the Rams are going to have a real tough time down in Dallas. And the 49ers are playing Atlanta at Atlanta, and they're a solid 9-point favorites. These 2 teams are the only 2 teams, the Rams and the 49ers, that I think will be 9 to 10 to 11-point favorites on the road. This is the best team in the National Football League, but Montana is still the best, and he's having another one of his great years. They're also undefeated on the road this year. Joe Montana is having another one of those great years. Atlanta cannot win a game on the road. They play a lot better at home. But I'll tell you one thing, 3 weeks ago, the 49ers beat Atlanta 45-3. And I mean, they killed him. Jerry Rice is yet, Deion Sanders has yet to cover Jerry Rice. He really found out what it was. I think maybe he had too much weight around his neck in those gold chains, and he, he's just a little bit too heavy trying to cover Jerry Rice. He ran by him, he ran over him, he ran around him. Anyway, I love the 49ers. Lay the 9 points. I think it'll be another 34-10 game. We'll take a look at the rest of the 7 games on the Coors Light scoreboard in just a minute.
If you feel life's more interesting when you make a splash.
It's the right beer now.
If you feel a great beer starts with great water.
It's the right beer now.
Because you're the kind of person who likes to get to the bottom of things. Call for the Silver Bullet, the one that won't slow you down.
Coors Light. It's the right beer now.
We could have been satisfied being the home of the chimichanga. After all, a chimichanga is the Chi-Chi's celebration, all wrapped up in a tortilla. But hearing you say wow wasn't enough. So we created the Cowabunga Chimichanga Special. It's our famous chimichanga plus cheese, nachos, and sopapillas, all for $6.95. Wow, you say? No, Cowabunga.
Chi-Chi, Chi-Chi, a celebration of food.
Welcome back to the Coors Light NFL scoreboard. You know, as I was talking about, we pick all these games each week. We try to pick the game against a number, 14 games. And I said early on, I said, you show me somebody that can pick 55% winners against losers, trying to pick against the spread in the National Football League, and he's Houdini. I've had 4 or 5 letters come in to the showcase and try to challenge me. One gentleman, I don't know his name, he's an old St. X grad who played in all those old Flagey St. X. I'm going to bring his name next week with me to the show. He wrote in and picked the whole slate, and he had like 11 winners out of 14. So maybe one of these weeks, if he keeps that up, I'm going to get him come down here and substitute for me. But anyway, let's take a look at the last 7 games here. I think this is the best football game of the week. The Philadelphia Eagles travel to the Meadowlands to play the Giants. The Giants coming off a loss. Giants are 3.5-point favorites. Now, Lawrence Taylor is out. Now, he's the heart and soul of the defense. And usually when that happens to any professional team, whether it's baseball, whether it's basketball or football, somebody rallies, somebody comes up to the bit and takes a hold of it, and they play over their heads with the loss. It's always happened in pro basketball. Giants are going to be without Lawrence Taylor, and I really believe that this is going to spur that defense to even play a little bit better. The Eagles are not playing as well as they're expected to play with Randall Cunningham, the $3 million quarterback. He really hasn't had the type of year he had last year, although the Eagles are still within striking distance. They're only 1 game. This is a must game for Philadelphia. The Giants, both these teams I think are going to be in the playoffs, but I think the Giants lay the 3.5 points. I think that's going to be the best game of the week. How about this one? The Bengals go to Cleveland. The Bengals just can't win on the road. Cleveland is having their problems. You got the Cleveland Browns with Bernie Kosar. He's not the best long passer in the world. He's very, very smart. He runs that offense quite well. He runs the offense to hit his backs. This could be a great, great football game. I think Cincinnati probably got the most progressive offense in the league, but they have not been running it well. For Cincinnati to win and to win big, they can't rely on Boomer Esiason. You know who's the key to Cincinnati? It's James Brooks. If Brooks is playing well, Cincinnati plays well. I've always felt that Brooks was probably the biggest key in the Bengal offense because he can do so many things to you. I like Cleveland. They're going to be playing at home. They're going to be playing at home all those crazies at that stadium. And Cincinnati just has not been playing well on the road. So I'm going to take the Browns here and lay the 4 points. Now the Jets in San Diego. And here's another one of those games, who cares, right? San Diego, 4.5-point favorites. If you want to win a bet, take San Diego at home and lay the 4.5 points. Simple as that. Here's another game. The Cardinals always give the Washington Redskins a lot of problems. Washington, I think, is finally on track. Mark Rippon stopped coughing up the football and fumbling. In the 13 sacks that he has had the first 7 or 8 games, he fumbled 12 times. He's not fumbling anymore. I like Washington over Phoenix. Phoenix is banged up. Let's see here. They also had 32 turnovers in the whole season. They ranked #1 in the NFL in turnovers, so I like Washington to lay the 4 points. How about this? Denver and the Raiders. Would you believe the Raiders are 1-point favored over what I think is the most improved team in the National Football League? The Denver Broncos are 10-2 on the year, and they're a 1-point underdog. And I think they started off 2-point favorites, and it's gone to 1 point on the Raiders. The Raiders are undefeated against Art Shell playing at home in the Los Angeles Coliseum. That's why the Raiders are 1-point favorite. I still have to take Denver because Denver, even though they've locked up a playoff bid, they're still playing for home field advantage. It's very, very important for Denver to lock up home field advantage as soon as they can because they will get to the Super Bowl if they play all their playoff games at home. You mark my words on that. They are a great home team, and they got the craziest fans in the league. So I like Denver over the Raiders. John Elway will be back for this one. Now, the Bears are at Minnesota. And I'll tell you, I have to tell you, I thought 3 or 4 weeks ago when Ditka started belittling his Chicago Bears that he was trying to rev up the team. I really thought he did. But after last week's loss, he's in a pitiful state as well as the Bears. They thought they were going to be a lot better football team than they were. They got off to a fine start, and now they're facing, if they lose this week, and I think they're going to lose, you can forget them in the playoffs. I like Minnesota over Chicago. Vikings have not been playing as good as they are. They're defensively, they're a much better football team than what they've showed. And I think Sunday it'll be the Vikings of old, and they'll come out and put some points on the board. Buffalo Monday night in Seattle. Buffalo's 5.5 points over Seattle. And I don't know why I'm going to take Seattle here. Maybe it's because on Monday night for the past I don't know how many years they've never lost by over 3 points. And I think that's the only reason. Buffalo, for some, they're another one having a hard time on the road this season. Much better football team, but this team is not as bad as their record shows, and Chuck Knox is, I think, one of the fine coaches in the National Football League. So I'm going to take Seattle and hold in an upset. I think they're going to win straight up. We'll be back to close out the show and tell you about some of our upcoming guests in just a minute.
Some insurance didn't even pay for your mom's allergy shots.
Or your cold last month. And because I didn't reach the deductible, it didn't pay for my stitches.
Humana has a range of plans to meet your needs. From affordable deductibles to no deductible at all.
Sue, what did my company insurance cover last year?
Nothing.
If you want coverage you can use, you want Humana.
Paul Hornung here for J.C. Bradford. You know, I've been investing with J.C. Bradford for over 20 years. Why? Well, first of all, I trust them. They know what they're doing here, and the bottom line is I've made money with J.C. Bradford. You don't have to have a large portfolio to get good service from Bradford's brokers. Here at Bradford, they treat everyone like a big investor. They really do care. So if you want to watch your money grow, call J.C. Bradford and let them go to work for you. I did.
Can we get a shot? Can we get a shot of this couple leaving right here? This is Fred and Edna Byron. They're celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary tonight. Well, thank you very much for coming to the show. Thank you. 50 years. Let's say 50 years. If I'd been married, I'd be 87. My wife would be 52, I guess. Something like that. We want to thank Fairfax Planteriors for the new plants that they've given us for the show. Came in here and did a lot of work for us, and we want to thank them very, very much for that. Taking a look at some of the upcoming things. Again, let me plug the Johnny Unitas Award Dinner tomorrow night at the Galt House. There's some tickets. Jerry Claiborne's going to be there. We're going to give him a little special thing. And I tell you, I think you'll want to be there. Tony Rice is going to get the Johnny Unitas 3rd annual trophy. It's going to be one of the best dinners this city has ever seen. And before long, and I think it will be very quickly, one of the great award dinners in America. What else have I got here tonight? We got Paul McGuire next week. And I want to tell you something, don't miss him. He is a nut. Paul McGuire of NBC used to be on NFL Live, and now he's doing the games out on the road. We're also going to switch to basketball the next couple of weeks, of course. Hopefully we're going to have Ralph Hacker on, the color man, of course, at the University of Kentucky. Jock Sutherland, 2 weeks from now. And then we're going to have Gail Sayers, and of course, December 28th, right before the U of L game, we're going to have Denny Crum on here with a couple of the U of L basketball players. So that's our lineup for the next month. We hope you'll join in. If you can't come down here and participate live, you don't need any tickets. Just come on down and show up. I'll get you in. If you can't get down here live, remember, Store Cable Channel 11, 8 to 9 o'clock every Thursday night. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you.
The Paul Hornung Sports Showcase has been brought to you by UPS. We run the tightest ship in the shipping business. By the Collins Auto Group, where one name means more. More selection, more value, more service. By Humana, high-quality healthcare services at affordable prices. By Coors Light, there's no slowing down the silver bullet. By your local Chi-Chi's Mexican restaurant, where every day is a celebration of food.